another one of those planets.
Yo, bitch, I got some buzzers clawing at my fucking stomach. I'm from the shadows, left the gallows, made the summit. Hear the trumpets rolling in like it's 300. Left the battle, the ravaged, attacking, and we set the body.
Clone army building is one of the biggest trends in LEGO Star Wars. People try to amass 10s, 20s, 30s, hundreds, thousands of clones to have the biggest, coolest clone army they can. And after seeing so many videos about this, I thought to myself, I wonder what it would cost to build an actual scale clone army and have the same number of clones that the actual Grand Army of the Republic had. So after doing a lot of research and a lot of math, I'd like to share with you guys how much that would roughly cost.
A few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
Okay, so we need a nice round number that we can go off of if we're going to be figuring out how many clones we need for a movie lore-accurate army. Now we learned in Attack of the Clones that
200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way.
meaning this army is meant to consist of 1.2 million clone troopers. Now, obviously you could argue with that number. I'm sure there's a lot of different sources that say something different, but that's the most canonically accurate, easy round number to use, and it's pretty huge, so let's just go with that one. Now you might be thinking, okay, let's just find that P1 clone from Attack of the Clones, find how much each one costs, multiply that by 1.2 million, and that's how much the army costs. But no. As we all know, the clone army doesn't just have normal clones in it. There's captains and commanders and jet troopers and airborne troopers, and there's all these different kinds of clones. And LEGO has made a lot of these clones in a lot of different sets. The problem is there's not a lot of agreement about how exactly these clones made up the actual clone army. What we do know is that the army had 130 legions, and a legion was 9,216 clones. Now each legion had a commander and 64 captains, one for every 144 normal clone troopers. So when we do the math out here, you can see that in total the army needs to be 1.2 million troops, 130 commanders, 8,320 captains. Okay, you still with me? This is important because it helps us figure out how much it's going to cost to buy the commanders, the captains, and the normal clones instead of just 1.2 million blank white normal P1 clones. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the stats on screen of how much each section of clone is going to cost, but I'm not going to list all of it. You have eyes, you can read. Feel free to disagree with any of the math in the comments. I'm just going to tell you how much each section costs. So to get the P1 clones we need, it's going to cost $9,770,710. To get the clone captains we need, it's going to cost $540,800, and to get the commanders we need, it's going to be another $10,335 bucks. This brings the total cost of this army to $10,311,510 USD, otherwise known as 240 Teslas. Now, this video doesn't have much of a point other than saying, holy shit, can you imagine? But keep in mind, this is without saying you would need 1,000 Venators, tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of gunships, tons of fighter tanks. It would be insane the number of vehicles you would need to support an army like this. To build a completely accurate LEGO clone army, including vehicles, you would need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm gonna do it.